Just wanted to talk about some more philosophical stuff and really what's going on behind the scenes of, like, you hear about like Illuminati, Freemasonry, all this stuff. So I'm going to start talking about the elixir of life. All right. Now everyone knows the elixir, what it is. It's this idea of this substance that you can drink and it gives you infinite life and also all the gold you want. Okay. And actually, I know what the elixir of life is and actually how to not make it, but how to obtain it. It's actually the idea of it, not that it's actually real, but you have to understand these people, these sorcerers or magicians or, Illuminati people, alchemists, alchemy. People are starting to realize alchemy is kind of like black magic, and it kind of all originates that. But anyways, so, and this is also connects with Harry Potter a lot too, because it's all right there. It's so obvious, and if you deny this, then you're in denial. That's all it is. It's all right there. Okay, so when you talk about your third eye, right? People talk about your third eye, and it's how you see like the spiritual realm and what's going on in the world. You can see above the surface of what's real behind the TV screen and things like that. Your spiritual self, your spiritual vision. And actually, the third eye is called the pineal gland, and it's basically this gland that's smack dab right in your brain, right? And if you look this up, you'll understand, like, people say that's where your soul is, it's kind of like right where your soul is, right in this gland, okay? And actually, that gland has like this crystally substance in it that is actually similar to what's in like telephone wires or telephone communication, which is interesting. But I describe it as your antenna that connects to the spiritual world, your spiritual self, your emotions, something bigger than your flesh, okay? Whether you believe in God or not, the idea of a higher self, something that's bigger than just being an animal, knowing the good and evil, okay? And this connects to Harry Potter when we talk about Nicholas Flamel and the elixir of life, and Harry gets the philosopher's stone, it's called, or the sorcerer's stone. Okay, this is how all this comes. And because people think that it is where the soul lies, okay, right in the brain, the pineal gland, all right? And, all right, that's what the symbol of this is right here, right? The eye. It's actually, Horus's eye actually resembles the part of the brain that is the pineal gland. So it's not actually your eyeball, but it's the pineal gland, okay? It's the gland in your brain that gives you vision to these things. And if you look at the symbol for the Deathly Hallows, it's actually the same symbol as the elixir of life. It's a little bit different than an eye, but it's the same symbol of the philosopher's stone or the sorcerer's stone. And what is this telling you is that Nicholas Flamel was basically drinking the fluid from the brain. Basically, they're eating souls, okay? Because if you look at myth, there is the idea that people believe that the elixir of life is the consumption of souls, okay? Is the consumption of souls. So it's not a metaphorical consumption of souls, because also it is true in Christianity and other things. That's why we eat bread, because we believe that God consumes our soul, right? So these people are trying to play God. They actually eat parts of the human brain. They actually eat them. This is not, I'm not making this up. This is real. That's what alchemists actually do. And I'm going to share another video of someone else that is saying this. I found it. It's really interesting. But basically, it's the idea that these people are eating like a piece of the human brain, and they believe that to be the elixir of life, and they believe to give that gives them immortality and things like that. Does it really give you immortality? No, it doesn't. These people are possessed, and actually by doing so, by eating that, they are destroying their own soul. So actually, the Sorcerer's Stone is a Horcrux. And the whole idea of it is like that gives you infinite life, and that, like, a Horcrux, right? The Horcrux is actually the Sorcerer's Stone, and the symbol of the Deathly Hallows, right, is like the mark of the beast, and it is the symbol used for the Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, if you were to look that up. So it's very interesting because it shows how Satanism is so prevalent in our society. I mean, I can't even watch this. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, for instance, just because I knew like what it involved. You know, the halftime show, all that shit. People are lost in this realm of fantasy. You know, alchemy. Alchemy isn't real. Okay, it's not real. Like, what it is the illusion of the devil. Okay, and so these people, like these, you know, satanic priests and things like that, they actually believe by consuming this part of the brain, it gives them a feeling of God. God, you know, they're trying to be God because that's what God does. God consumes our souls when we die. So they actually think that if they physically eat this part of the brain, that they will become immortal. So they're willing to kill people for it. They're willing to do whatever it takes for it. They're like the human sacrifice. They're as evil as it gets. Like Lady Gaga, if you enjoyed the Super Bowl, I just look towards Jesus, man. I mean, all this shit is so fucking stupid. Like, no offense, I didn't even watch the Super Bowl. Like, it didn't matter to me. There's just so much more in my life that's so much more important that it did not matter to me at all. You know, I've seen it since I was a little kid. It's been shoved down my throat. I just don't care anymore about stuff like that, you know? Especially when it's associated with Lady Gaga. Then I know just, it's not that football or sports are bad. It's not like that, but I think we should spend more time maybe enjoying them with each other rather than, you know, watching these people just kill each other on TV, you know? I don't know how to explain it. It's not that, like, sports are bad or things like that, but it's just the idea of escaping our reality all the time is what kills us. You know, fantasy, television, things like that. So, that is the elixir of life. Like it's actually what they believe it is. Okay, and I suggest you never do it because what it does is it tears apart your own soul, just like the Horcruxes do in Harry Potter. The elixir of life actually destroys your own soul. So it's basically a full circle. Like, you know, they think the Deathly Hallows is like this great thing or whatever, like the symbol, you know, whatever, this symbol. And actually in the Harry Potter text, it says how the Deathly Hallows resembles an eye. So it's actually telling you that's resembling the pineal gland. And it's kind of promoting the Deathly Hallows. And also, you'll know that, you see, like, the thing is Harry Potter lives, okay? Christ actually died, you know. He ascended to heaven after he died. So, I mean, Christ resurrected, and I'm going to get into what I believe the resurrection actually was in a later video. But he later then died 40 days after, you know. He didn't continue living. He didn't have, you know, a family and things like that. He gave that up for us. That's what the whole story about Christ was, is that he gave up his second half of his life for us. So that's something to remember. All right, that's all I got to say. I thought it was extremely interesting. I was thinking about today, but it's all very real, and that's how it connects to Harry Potter and witchcraft, you know, sorcery. It's all evil. Like, we need to, like, go out into the real world, go outside, you know, plant your garden, feed yourself, like, live life normally. You know what I mean? Like, I butcher animals. This morning I had, you know, venison and eggs right from our chicken coop. Like, venison from, you know, a deer my uncle killed. Like, that's life, you know? Like, appreciate the good things in life. And it's not the things that man created, but it's the fantasies that man created, okay? It's not like I don't believe in the computer or, you know, things like that. I don't know how to explain it. So it's all pretty interesting. I think, you know, I think the idea of, like, they're basically brain eaters. Like, that's what they do. They eat human brains. Like, they try to eat souls. Like, and it destroys their own soul by doing so. So, just something to remember, you know, don't be eating brains anytime soon. I don't think that's too hard to avoid, though. All right, peace.